So now, Justin, as I always do when it's Band of the Month time, I say unto you, Justin, who is our Band of the Month?
Baroness.
Baroness?
Let me say that again. Baroness.
That's better. That's better.
No, not better. Baroness.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Our Band of the Month, and the album is Yellow
and Green.
Green.
Man, I wish I remembered how to say yellow and green. Verde is green, right? I don't know how to say yellow. Anyway.
So first of all, this album has an amazing cover.
Yeah.
Very bright.
Very bright. And
bright yellow.
Yeah.
With not too much green.
Not too much. Definitely more of a yellow cover.
But the disc is green for the green album.
For the green album, yeah. We're giving you great information today about colors.
Yeah.
We can teach you colors. We're like the new Barney. We're like the Barney of metal. We can teach you album cover colors. I love sludge. I love doom.
So...
sorry, got distracted by Barney.
We've talked about it in the past when we did our reviews. How I did yellow and you did green. And we had a lot to say then. And so just go listen to that one and we're done.
Yep, you're gonna go back to episode 52, a long time ago on a podcast far, far away, which was the one where I mentioned Star Wars a lot while you were trying to talk.
Yep.
I was really rude about it.
Yeah.
Just kept interrupting that Star Wars.
It's good old Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's no need to repeat everything that we've ever said about Baroness, but this album is fucking great. And both discs are great. Now, I think we discussed before that there are some other metal media outlets who have reviewed the album who said that they thought that it was a waste of 2 discs, that they could have easily condensed it into one album of 12 songs and left out some of the filler.
Yeah.
Justin, can you name for me one filler track on Yellow?
No.
Not one track that you would go like, fuck it, I don't need to listen to that track. You can skip that.
I honestly, I really can't. I can't see them cutting any of it.
Me neither. And I feel the same way about Green, because I think every song has a place.
Yeah. And it's a little over 75 minutes total between the 2 discs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like an hour and 15... Yeah, hour and 15 minutes. How many minutes can you fit on a disc usually?
How many what?
How many minutes can you fit on a disc?
I think a standard burning disc is 80 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically they could have put it on, but actually I like how they did it like this. And I feel like each album is different in a way. So, you're keeping them separate. We've talked about it before that I feel like Yellow had a little more aggressive parts to it. I mean, it was definitely it was a mix, but it did have a few tracks like "Take My Bones Away" that were a little more aggressive. The vocals were a little more harsh, as opposed to Green, which I think almost all of it,
all melodic, very few even erupting passages,
very calm vocals, layered vocals.
Yep, you are absolutely right. But I think that's the good thing about separating the 2 discs, is that they are very different.
Yeah, you don't want to mix that together.
And I think one of the things that everyone should take a listen to, and whether or not you're a fan of Baroness doesn't matter, because if you're a fan of Baroness, you might hate this album because it's not like their other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you think you hate Baroness, you should listen to this album because they will give you a completely different view of what they do.
Yeah.
So I say listen to it, but one thing to note is that there's a lot of really, really great, intricate acoustic guitar work.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that's almost like folky bluegrass guitar work.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like layered, one guy's picking, the other guy's strumming. It's really just an impressive mix of stuff, and never in a million years would I think guys with beards like that would play music like this.
And on top of that, they incorporate that with a lot of bass.
Yes, rumbling bass.
Yep.
Bass that would make sludge bands really jealous.
Yeah. And it really, the bass has its own part in this.
Yep.
Altogether,
Yep.
it's not just some background filler, for the guitars to roll over. It's really, it really stands out on its own, and it blew me away. It's fucking great.
Well, now let's summarize here by Justin. Give me 2 songs off of Yellow. If you had to pick 2 songs for someone who, oh, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna like it, maybe I'll listen to 2 songs. Pick 2.
See, that's tough because I feel like Take My Bones Away, I'd have to say, would be one.
Mm-hmm.
Only because, I mean, I guess it's, it's right in the beginning, and that's what really caught me. And it's catchy, and it's upbeat, and it's heavier. And it's what I was kind of expecting throughout the whole album.
Yeah.
But then there are songs like Twinkler. There's a song like Twinkler where it's like all acoustic, like almost like it's just a ballad. It's not even I don't even know how to explain it. It sounds like like the vocals on it are really, really soft and layered, like they harmonize together, and it just sounds amazing. But it doesn't sound like something Baroness would do. You know what I mean? Compared to their old stuff,
Yeah.
And it was just a really soft song, but it's beautiful. It's an amazing track. And then you go back to kind of heavier stuff like Sea Lungs, towards the end of it, which, I mean, that was like a shorter track, which I kind of wish it was a little heavier, or longer. Wish it was a little longer. But, they lean back more towards heavier stuff, which actually I think that was the one track I mentioned that kind of reminded me of like Mastodon.
Yeah. Yep. And it definitely does. And I know exactly
something off
why
of
you
Leviathan,
like it.
You know what I mean? So, and it was really cool. They even had some really cool effects in that song, particularly where they, on the vocals, they added like these filters that made it almost sound like he was underwater.
Yep.
Which I just thought was cool, and for it obviously to be called Sea Lungs and everything.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure, it was planned. So I asked you for 2,
I know,
and you gave me like 7.
I know. That's why it's tough. It really is hard. I mean,
good, because I'm going to cheat myself.
Yeah.
If I had to pick 3 songs on Green, it would be Board Up the House, which kind of has like a low... It's a rock track, but it's not really heavy. And the highlight song for me is the song MTNS, which I always assume stands for Mountains.
Yeah.
With the subtitle The Crown and Anchor. Fucking love that song.
Yeah.
But if you want something that's just going to change the way you feel about Baroness completely, you should listen to the instrumental track called Stretch Marker. That's the one with like really bluegrass folk guitars just wound inside of one another. And it's just incredible. It's incredible what they do, and I've played it for as many people as I could find. And everyone ends up going like, "Whoa, is this what this band is like?"
Yeah.
Because if it is, I am a fan.
Yeah.
Because they just do something very interesting and intricate with what they're doing.
Yeah. And it's funny because they're not normally. This isn't what they're normally like. But I like the direction that they went in with this.
Yeah.
With these albums, compared to their older stuff. I mean, I like their older stuff, but
I do too.
This just topped it as an album.
Yep.
No matter, doesn't matter the genre. It's just as the sound that came off of this album was just insane.
It's perfect. And they are touring.
Yeah.
So, I am curious to see how they fold this material in with their other stuff, because their other stuff is not like this.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to point out is that the Green album had a few more instrumentals than the Yellow.
Yep.
And like soft instrumentals, because the Stretch Markers and also the last one,
If I Forget the Low Country.
Yeah.
Yep.
And wasn't the first track Green
Theme also, yep.
Yeah. Which I also I thought it was interesting that Green Theme was like a full song, over 4 minutes long, and the first track on Yellow Theme, that was like a real just short intro, a minute and a half, whatever, a minute and 45 seconds. But I like both of them. I like both of the themes. I think they fit perfect. I really enjoy listening to Yellow Theme. Like the guitar, the acoustics in it they're just really nice to listen to. And it just opens the album up well, going right into Take My Bones Away.
Yep, I agree. And I think that's what... I'm not always the huge fan of the intro track, because I think it can be hit or miss. Either it goes really well or it goes really poorly.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, both of them, Green Theme and Yellow Theme, are perfect for what they do.
Yeah.
So there's that. So that's why Baroness is our band of the month. Because this album is, I think we both agree, has vaulted itself directly into our top 10s.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that it's displaced several albums on my top 10 to the point where, this could end up towards the top, depending on how the rest of the year goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, motherfuckers. Justin, is there anything else you'd like to mention before we jack off for the day?
Not really. Not really. Not really.